Try it again. Hey, Tap here. I'm a few days late with this recording and I apologize. I've been going through a necessary state of afternoon and evening naps that have been cutting into my productivity in the evenings. Um, but I'm here, and it's week 5, and I am talking about whispers behind my smile. It is a 12-week journey within, and we talk about our self-care, our self-love, our self-nurturing, and I've been adding self-discovery when I've been scribbling this in my journal. So I'm going to add that here in this recording as well. And I say self-discovery because the last 4 weeks have been really um, interesting learning opportunity of self that I've been going through. And I'm wondering if you're going through that as well. If you're interested in joining, send me a message and let me know. Your 12 weeks starts whenever you want to. I created this because I wanted to prioritize me for a change. I've not done that well in the past. And when I sat down and started thinking about what does that look like as I am curating my life, I'm being mindful, I'm really trying to live an intentional life and being really clear and focused, I realized that I had to do some work to really understand what does that actually mean for me at this stage. And the first week was about understanding and defining my why, setting some intentions, and just setting the foundations that we layer on week to week. And this is not just about setting a bunch of layers to create that foundation. We do this for 12 weeks. We check a box, put a star beside our name, and then that's it. The goal is really to create something that is a solid foundation that is sustainable beyond the 12 weeks. So today is the start, or a couple days is the start of week 5. And week 5 is all about nurturing self care and resilience. And this week is where you are empowered to start putting in some of the work based on all of the observations over the last 4 weeks. So I'll put links in the description for some of the past weeks. Here on YouTube, if you go to my community section, you will see that I have listed the weekly reflection prompts there. There's other pieces to this that I haven't really put out there. When I created this program, I created it in my journal, wrote it all out, and I've been refining it along the way. But those reflection prompts are really there to help you, whether you're using a notes app or your journal. It's really to help you to capture and understand um, who you are at this stage of your life. And I found that there was things that I've been doing, places that I've been going or not going, based on just who I thought I was or who I am at a certain point in time. And I've grown and evolved from that person. And it's important for us to take stock and take inventory. I like to call it the look back, that reflection. It allows you to really understand why are you doing the things you're doing. And that was what we looked at over weeks 2 to weeks 4. Um, some of the habits and and patterns that you have in your life, what's working for you and what's not working for you and why. And I always will talk about writing it down because I don't know about you, but my brain can only hold so much before it's gone. And I want to know that I actually have something written down that I can go back to and sometimes add to it or go back and read it. Why did I write this down at this point in time? What was my thought process? And it's helping me to build my life how I want to move it forward, and I don't get to put aside my responsibilities. And I want to make sure I always remind people of that. You know, you still have to take care of the job, the home, the kids, the spouse, the partner, whatever other responsibilities, the cat, the dog, the budgie, the fish, any of your requirements, your obligations, your responsibilities, all of that has to stay with you. You don't get to get rid of it. Or maybe you do. Your life might be different. I don't get to put those on a shelf and focus on myself for 12 weeks. And the goal is not to try to do that either. The goal is to understand how to prioritize myself amongst taking care of the different roles, responsibilities, and obligations that I have in life so I can find a sense of balance. And I've talked about balance in a previous video, so I'm not going to bring it up again here. But it's really, really important to prioritize yourself. And that's something that I know that I don't do enough. And I know many people talk about them not doing it enough either, which is why I created this program to help me. And I'm sharing it with all of you. So, again, if you're interested, let me know. But we are in week 5. We're talking about nurturing our self care and putting in the work. So, originally today, I have some questions that I'm going to throw out there in this recording. They're already posted on the community tab here on YouTube, and I've posted them on. I've posted them on Instagram as well. If you go to my Instagram page at Tap the Soul, today we're going to talk about goals. That was a plan. Sorry, let me hydrate. So the plan today was to talk about goals. It was talking about how to create a goal system, process, habits about self care. And I'm going to change that a little bit. So let me do the reflection prompts to start. I'm looking at my monitor. I've got my journal. Trusty journal is always with me. Pen and paper is my thing. So I'm going to read a bunch of questions that I created, and I'm actually taking myself through these questions right now. And it's probably taking me a little bit longer to answer these because the last 4 weeks has shifted my mindset. And I want to make sure that I'm being intentional with where my thought is today and not doing my auto response that I'd normally do in answering some of these questions. So, question number one: how do I currently care for myself physically, emotionally, and mentally? Now, I meditate, I journal, I've always got music going. There's music playing in my head right now, although um, I'm here recording this. And physically, I already know that I am horrible in regards to how I'm taking care of myself physically. But that's one of the areas that I wanted to focus on, getting a better routine in place to take care of myself physically, and that was including nourishment as well as including my body and my soul care and including movement. And the next remaining weeks in this 12-week journey for me will be putting those pieces in place. However, I kind of got stumped along the way, and I'll talk about that in a second. The second question is a two-part. First part is what drains your energy, and the second part is how do you set boundaries? Now, if you are from the Twitch community, the collective, you will know that access and boundaries has been the VIP girl in the room in many of my streams, my live streams over the year. And although I'm not streaming over there anymore, I actually do plan to go back and watch some of my past streams to capture some details. And I'll put a video together talking specifically about access and boundaries because that is an area that I struggle with, which also means that I have an areas of my life that has been draining my energy. And it's not always bad things, right? There are things, when I talk about distractions, you can have a good distraction. At the end of the day, it's still a distraction if it's taking you away from what you should be focusing on. And the same will be said about draining your energy. There are things that I have consuming my energy. And it's not that the thing is bad. What's bad is that I haven't put a boundary around how much time I've allotted to the thing or the person, right? And I think once you start to define boundaries, it's helpful for things and people as well as yourself, because then you understand that you're giving yourself time to replenish, whether the thing or person is replenishing you or you need to replenish you. Either way, you need to have those boundaries in place that allows you to do that. The last question: what does resilience mean to you and how do you embody it? So knowing me as usual, I always like to go to the phone and start looking up the word for a definition. So I decided that I wanted to look up what does resilience mean, and the Oxford Dictionary gives the following description: resilience is the capacity to withstand or to recover quickly from difficulties, tough. It's interesting because I'm sure many of us can think of many moments in our life where we've had to have that bounce back from a difficult situation, whether it's something that's happened or it's a relationship breakup or something. And not all of us bounce back quickly, but the goal is that you still bounce back. And that's the important piece. It's not about how long it takes you to bounce back, it's the ability to bounce back. So, the capacity to withstand or to recover quickly from difficulties is it's key right now because you're doing this work, you're prioritizing yourself, and you're looking at all of the ways on how you want to be mindfully intentional on how you are living, um, not just for these 12 weeks, but beyond. You are curating your life. And we are going to hit bumps in the road. We're going to hit those setbacks that are going to throw us off. And being able to put the right tool or system and goals in place, and then be able to navigate your way forward when you hit the bump, the pothole, the whatever, that's what's going to help you with the sustainability of what the work is that you're doing for yourself right now. So pause and celebrate yourself on the fact that you're even doing the journey that you've done to date. And then also be mindful that there's still more work to be done, and allow yourself grace as you're trying to figure it out. So for today, I've just talked about the reflection prompts that I put out there and where to find them. And then I was going to talk about goals. I was going to talk about SMART goals. And if you're in the corporate space, I'm pretty sure you've had to do SMART goals for your performance objectives for the year, and you go over them and they have to be measurable, and you know what the SMART stands for, all of the stuff. You can Google that yourself and find all of the details. What I realized is that I need to not try to do that now, because I started to read a book that has shifted my thought on defining goals and focusing on a system. So, the backstory. Let me do the backstory. Last year, I started a book club on Tap Shelf, and it failed. Intentionally, it was going to fail because I didn't have a system in place on how I was going to manage it. I was dealing with people all around the world and time zones, and I didn't have a plan in mind of how I would get us all together to do things. I was just figuring it out on the fly. Not a good approach, but I'm still going to celebrate the fact that I tried to start a book club. So it didn't do well, but if you follow me on Instagram, you already know where I'm going with this conversation. I decided for 2025, I wanted to bring the book club back. I'm just going to do it a little bit differently. So for 2025, on Tap Shelf, the book club has returned. And this year, we're starting with The Atomic Habits by James Clear. It is a New York Times bestseller. I'm going to say, I've been using nuggets from this book in my corporate space amongst my leadership team and my executive team that I work with and I'm a part of, but I'd never actually physically read the book. When I bought this book last year, the goal was that I was going to sit down and read it at some point in 2025. When I started thinking about what I wanted to accomplish for myself in 25, what was important to me, and reading is important to me. I have bookshelves behind me, I have a library in my bedroom. So I really wanted to get back to reading. And I found that when I picked up this book and I read the title, Tiny Changes for Remarkable Results, an easy and proven way to build good habits and break bad ones, I'm thinking it's the start of a new year. Why not? And then I got a couple pages in and I realized that this is actually right in line with what I'm trying to do with this 12-week journey within Whispers Behind My Smile. So, week 5, today was supposed to be talking about starting to put goals in place that we are going to be able to measure, SMART goals. And then I came across this book and I've been reading, and I came across the section that I'm just going to read for you. It's just a quick blurb. So James Clear writes, "What's the difference between systems and goals? It's a distinction I first learned from Scott Adams, the cartoonist behind the Dilbert comic. Goals are about the results you want to achieve, and systems are about the processes that lead to those results." And I had to like pause when I read that because it's almost like a light bulb went off. Um, Here's the deal. He also mentions about, that when you clean your room and then you blink and your room is messy again. I can relate to that because I will go through the cleaning frenzy weekly, and the room looks awesome and everything smells great and fresh sheets on the bed and whatever else you're doing along the way. And by midweek I look around, I'm just like, what the hell happened? It's like a bomb dropped in the room again. Or maybe 2 weeks will go by and then I'm back to that again. And the reason for that is because I have not put the right system in place to be able to accomplish the goal of keeping my room clean, because I haven't thought it through properly. So, yes, I love a clean room. I love the fresh smell of fresh sheets on my bed every week, but I haven't thought through the entire system of my life on how to make sure that I have the process in place to be able to achieve that goal of keeping my room clean every single day, and not every single time that I sit down and do the overhaul and the purge and clean, right? And I'm just sharing to share. Like, I'm sure that you can think about so many different examples in your life where you sat down and maybe you made the list of all the goals of what you want to achieve, and you start doing it and then you fall off the wagon and you get frustrated. if you take that look back and really look at it, did you really look at the full system of what you needed to do to in order to achieve the goal? And that's usually where the work needs to be done in order to continue to successfully achieve the goal. It's a good goal that you have. You just haven't figured out how to make sure that you are able to achieve it successfully, consistently. So I feel like I'm going to lose my voice soon, so I'm going to stop talking. Um, Nurturing self care and resilience. That bounce back that you need when you have these setbacks on you're creating a system for yourself and you don't have it figured out. Um, you have tough moments that will hit your life and disrupt your life when you're on a journey of joy, peace, love, happiness, whatever word you want to call it. I've talked about this in a previous post. I'm at a level of peace I have never experienced before. I still have a lot of toxic stuff around me that I'm working through. Um, and I still have a lot of life obligations that will kick me off the path and can easily dim the light of that peace that I am feeling from within. The goal of what I'm doing right now and what I'm going to continue doing and why I keep talking about intentional living is we will never have full peace with no problems. That's not life. That is really not life. The goal is to have balance. How do you find that balance of having that peace, that joy, that love, that happiness within, and still be able to navigate the rough spots? And that is what the goal is of doing this 12-week journey. It's exploring and understanding who I am, what I'm going through. Hopefully, you're taking yourself through the journey as well, and you're asking yourself, how do you prioritize you? What is important to you? The version of you at this point and the version that you are creating as you continue to evolve. The old version of you may need some changes and needs to be let go of, and that's the hard part. Saying goodbye to the old version of us. I will talk about that in another video, but I am going to wrap up here, and I'm just going to close out by saying, um, to get to the 5-week mark for me, I am definitely celebrating the fact that I have been consistent and I have been disciplined. And I'm giving myself grace because I know that there's more work for me to do to continue being consistent and to continue being disciplined. But as I take this journey, and I'm hoping I'm inspiring you to take the journey, once again, the goal is to prioritize you, to remember how important you are amongst everything else that you have, and to figure out how to balance it all. We do not get to put aside life to take care of ourselves. We still have to figure out how to take care of ourselves while we're still living our life. So I'm tapping out here because my voice is going to tap out for me. But I will be back. If you have any questions, drop me a message. Don't hesitate to drop a comment below. I do read comments and I do get some messages on my Instagram at TaptheSoul. Um, if you want to find the prompts, once again, I'll put them in the description. You could also find them in the community section. They're also on my Instagram. I post there. I'm doing this for me, but I'm sharing it for all of you. And I would really love to know that we are all trying to take a few moments of our lives to prioritize ourselves along the way. So my voice is really about to tap out now. So peace, love, and blessings. I will be back again soon.